Welcome back to episode 2.
Already?
Oh man, we came back for more.
Yes. yes.
Just another reintroduction to you all. Get to know us. My name is Perri.
I'm Ben.
I'm Rashawn.
And this is the Wrist Check podcast. What are you guys wearing today? Let's do a wrist check.
G-Shock. You inspired me with the first episode.
I'm saying.
So I pulled out my 2100.
The jellyfish.
Jellyfish. Translucent, clear,
Fire.
black dial. Digital analog. Can't go wrong. Has a light. Has a chronograph technically.
Technically. Sure.
Right? I get to know every day of the week and it's never wrong.
It's never wrong. I mean, it's quartz. It's the most accurate movement you can have.
Definitely more accurate than my Omega. Sorry.
Sure. What do you got on the wrist, Rashawn? What we rocking with?
I kept it very vintage with the oyster prints from
Tudor.
the 60s.
Respect.
Tudor, big rose with the original Rolex Tang buckle, crown, and case back.
So basically you're wearing a baby Rolex.
I am wearing a baby Rolex.
Vintage baby Rolex.
I do like small cases. I think I shared that in my in the first episode. So this is a 34 millimeter case. Yeah. I am a big guy.
Yeah, you're a bigger guy. 34 wears
it
well
actually
on you.
wears
really
well
good.
on your wrist, though.
I agree.
You're definitely gonna inspire more people to start
And then
looking into smaller watches.
it's you got a croc strap?
Got a croc strap,
kind of cognac colored.
Yeah, it's super dark,
which is nice
with a kind of patent leather coating.
Respect.
Yeah, this is my new addition and one of my favorites.
We must have started a Facebook group because I'm wearing a gold 60s watch too.
Nice.
This is a vintage Speedmaster sunburst dial 64.
Is it a pie pan dial?
It is not a pie pan dial, though. I love the pie pan dial, and that is on my short list. I do want an Omega Constellation. I think the vintage 60s ones are fire.
Yeah,
with the pie pan dial. This one I got off of a vintage dealer right before COVID. This is one of my favorite watches. I swapped out the strap. I put it on a very pale tan croc strap. I'm not sure why, but it spoke to me.
It looks good against the silver.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks
really good. It's nice. This is a watch. I actually wear this pretty often. This is, it's a dress watch, but again, I kind of like wearing dress watches with like jeans and t-shirt.
Juxtaposition.
Yeah, exactly. And this is one of my favorite pieces. Whenever I don't wear it, eventually I'll come back to it and I'm like, damn, I'm glad I got this. Yeah. So respect. Yeah, we're definitely channeling the same energy today.
For sure.
Moving on, this week's eye candy. You guys shared some photos in the group chat this week. JLC is going to get a lot of love.
Yep, rightfully so.
For sure.
Rightfully.
I actually visited, I was hanging out with Rashawn last week and we were checking out a JLC watch, but we're going to go right into one that you wanted to talk about, Rashawn, the JLC Perpetual Master Ultra Thin.
Yes.
In rose gold.
Yeah.
Tell me about this piece.
This is definitely my grail watch, one that I have to have. Of course, the Perpetual calendar is my favorite, absolute number one favorite complication. The complication was designed originally by Patek Philippe in 1925. The coolest factor about that timepiece is if that piece is still running till this day, it does not have to be set.
That's kind of crazy.
Another 4 years, which to me is just nuts.
I mean, don't have to be set ever, really. If you think about it, as long as it's running on the winder, being worn, you don't gotta touch it.
Never have to touch it.
I mean, this watch has everything.
Lifetime.
It's got the year.
Yep.
It's got the month.
Yep.
The day.
Yep.
The date.
Position of the moon.
Position of the moon.
Leap year indicator.
Leap year indicator.
Oh my God. It's a beast.
And this watch is extremely smart. It gives you an indicator when to set and when not to set the watch.
So for those that don't know, because we're talking about watches all the time, so we might use like abbreviation stuff. We call this a JLC. What is a JLC?
Jaeger Le Coultre.
That was very good.
As the French would say. I do not speak French. I do not speak French, but I have some close friends that give me little pointers in my.
I'm sure they're proud of you right now.
And my touch of French.
This watch is an absolute workhorse. When I think of JLC, I think of this isn't someone's first watch.
No.
Right?
Definitely not.
No, this is someone who is an avid collector, probably has some hitters, definitely has like those little quirks in their collection of pieces that they love. And then that person sort of gravitates to a brand like JLC. What is it exactly about this brand that you love?
Definitely the history.
Mm-hmm.
It is, the watchmaker's watchmaker. They started with just doing movements for, the brands that we know and love, amongst a few, Patek Philippe, Cartier, AP.
They're in AP watches till this day.
I think that's something that a lot of people don't really know too, is kind of like how incestuous a lot of these brands are. Like they've had similar designers pass through,
of course,
similar watch, actual like movement makers pass through.
Designers.
Yeah.
Well, when I am speaking to watches, no matter the brand, these guys are here for a reason. They stood the test of time, and that is a pun intended. These guys are here. They're amplified for a reason. They're respected for a reason. They all have a specific reason as to why they've had some significance in the purpose of time. So, when it comes to just brands in particular, I think the story, the nostalgia, the novelty, when you educate yourself a little bit more on these brands and you figure out why they are truly here, you appreciate them a lot more. And JLC is definitely one of those brands where you really, really do appreciate them if you are a true collector.
Yeah.
I think aesthetically is beautiful, but for me, where it really gets me is the case size. It's a 39 millimeter case size.
Sweet spot.
And the thickness is only 9 millimeters.
Yep.
Yeah.
For a watch that it's got a 38-hour power reserve.
For a watch to be that thin and be a perpetual
calendar watch is
all that
packed
in
there.
It's nuts.
I mean, this is a flex.
Yeah,
for sure.
Position of the moon. For that girl you date, you need to tell her she's in retrograde or whatever she's talking about, Grand Rising.
You'll figure it out. Just look at the watch.
Look at my watch.
Yes.
Respect. Yeah, this is
also value proposition for a perpetual.
What are we talking?
Unheard of.
Yeah.
This one is what is it retail? Because
I don't think this is retail.
No.
Let's see the Jaeger. It's like 30.
Retail is 35.6.
35,
so this is a heavy
but in gold though. In gold,
and,
right?
and this is a gold watch.
Yeah,
but
this in steel, I think it's only 22.
22.
Which, if you think about it, like when it comes to similar profiles, the thinness of this watch in steel is the exact same, right?
Yeah.
The only brand that I know of that makes a perpetual calendar that's that thin, obviously maybe a little thinner, is AP.
Sure.
In steel, that watch is $80,000 at retail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is definitely nuts.
I mean, it's definitely like in terms of value, you get more. It's still a heavy hitter.
Yeah, it's definitely a heavy hitter, especially
it's a 30K
when you think about
watch.
Yeah. AP's using Jaeger parts for some of their watches.
But I definitely think for those dudes that are heavy into watch collecting, and they've checked those boxes with Rolex and some of those other heavy hitters, Omega, Cartier. I definitely see JLC right up there as like the next piece to add to your collection.
Yeah, especially if you want something dressy.
Fun fact, for all those Marvel fans, the perpetual calendar was actually worn by Doctor Strange in the first film.
Yep.
I feel like
There's
Dr.
a
Strange
money
would definitely
shot.
wear
To go even more in depth on that story, they made a special one for the movie. They made 2 of them. So obviously this watch has an exhibition case back.
Yeah.
The one in the movie has a closed case back because they engraved it. There's a message on the back. The whole story is that his, girlfriend, not girlfriend in the movie, gifted him the watch. So she engraved it.
Wow.
Which on the, the one you can just walk in and buy at the store, that's not possible. So
And it's got a pretty attractive movement inside. You can't tell from the photos I'm sharing with you guys right now, but I've seen this watch in person. I'm not a huge fan of exhibition casebacks, but this one is it's pretty attractive.
Definitely.
I think for a perpetual, you want to see how that works.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Agreed. Moving along and still staying with JLC. Another watch you shared was the annual calendar.
Annual calendar chronograph.
Now this watch, I tried this one on last week, and I posted a picture of it, and I got a lot of feedback.
Made you feel good then?
It made me feel real good.
Yes it will.
People were looking at me like, "Damn, you hit the jackpot! You must have hit Powerball." This watch is beautiful. It's definitely a thicker case. But it wears well. Yeah. And for someone like myself that has a modest sized wrist, and I usually try to stay anywhere between, I try to stay around a 36 millimeter. I'll do a 41 occasionally, but
Speedy's a 41, right?
Yeah, exactly. This one is a 40. So, in terms of width, not bad. A little thicker.
Does it say how much thicker?
We can look it up right here. Let's see. Bong bong.
Because it's not crazy.
It's 12.
Like, it's not. Oh,
it's just a hair. It's 3 thicker than like a Tudor Black Bay.
Yeah.
Right. Which to me is like optimal.
A 58
thickness.
at that.
Exactly.
Because a standard Black Bay is even thicker than this.
I think the 58 is like an 11.
58's 11, Black Bay.
This one's
14.
12.05.
Yeah.
I definitely feel it because I typically wear watches that have a thinner profile.
Yeah, all the vintage is much, much thinner.
And then my Tudor is probably the thickest one I have, but this one was very comfortable. And it was beautiful. And I tried on the rose gold.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The rose gold, if you're going to do it, obviously the price difference is significant between steel and rose for this model at least. But if you're going to do it, I think this is way too attractive to not go for it.
Yeah. I always lean to precious metal as well.
Yeah.
Just considering the fact that, watches now are kind of used as assets more than liabilities.
Sure.
And of course, we know the craze of steel watches, but at the end of the day, it's still a steel watch. It's a hunk of metal.
Yeah.
But if you have a precious metal piece, you not only have something that is sophisticated, but you have a natural resource.
Yeah, you have an asset not only in the watch, but in the material itself. If that's how you want to think about it. You want to think about it from, getting an asset or an investment purpose. You have two because you have a watch, and then you have gold.
Yeah. So no matter if the brand is compromised, you still have, ounces or an ounce of gold on your wrist.
I think that's an excellent point. I think the other thing that comes to mind to me as a big fan of tool watches, and this is not that in the traditional sense, it's definitely a luxury watch. But this watch has a lot of utility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, an annual perpetual calendar, like this watch is like an iPhone app.
Yeah. Basically.
Like when you think about it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a very expensive iPhone app, a luxurious iPhone app on your wrist. I could easily see this watch being an everyday driver for someone, outside of them doing, like any serious activity.
Yeah. This is like a perfect watch for that, like, exec or mid-level exec that has to wear a suit 5 days a week. Obviously now that might be a little more, less seen. But I feel like I personally know a lot of people who are like, no, I want to be back in the office, so I go to the office every chance I can. I feel like this is something, if they're going to the office 3 days out of the week, they will reach for this and probably leave it on all day. Because it's never just I'm going to the office. It's I go to the office and then I'm doing something after, whether it be date night or something with colleagues. You're not going to take the watch off.
Well, you have no reason to.
Right. It's going to stay on for 10 hours.
That's the thing. This is that watch that you can, for that guy who's a high-powered exec, high-powered lawyer, whatever, you wear it to the office, you wear it to work. But also like, I'm taking my lady out tonight. I'm taking the family out this weekend. Like, I can rock this. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's a fire piece.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever an inappropriate situation to wear this watch.
Agreed. It's all purpose.
And the rotor on this is also rose gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes the exhibition case back even that much more attractive.
Also, I'm going to go out and just say that I think this is the most beautiful dial Jaeger makes in their current collection.
It's very
There's
attractive.
so much it's a silver dial.
Yep.
Blued steel hands. Obviously, you get the rose gold hands.
There's a lot of contrast going on, but it fits well.
Red. You get red at 60 in both counters. You get red for 31 in the date wheel, and then you get red for your day and your month.
The moon positioning dial also has kind of like a three-dimensional aspect to it.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it pops out at you. Like there's layers to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a heavy hitter. This is a beautiful piece. I personally, I mean, if I had $30K to blow, this would definitely be in the runnings.
Can you think of much that would compete at $30K?
I mean, I could definitely give $30K a run for its money in terms of like watch collecting.
I think we all can, to be honest.
But when I think of JLC, for me personally, I always think of like watch brands as like the entry point, and then you move up. Yeah. And so for me, it's like, just as a fan of JLC, my first one would have to be Reverso.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? I just think it's such a classy piece. But if I had that, this could definitely be like number 2, number
your
3.
Second one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. When I tried it on, I mean, I wanted to leave with it for sure.
Well, remember I played with this too, and I had it on for like 15 minutes, just like not even realizing that I had it on. I put it on, I was like, oh, this looks really good. I took a couple photos.
Yeah.
I just kept going on about what I was doing. And he was like, yo, like Rashawn was like, you still got that watch on, right?
It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so moving along. We get to, there was another watch that was on your radar this week, and we'll just move along to watches on the radar. The Speedmaster chronoscope.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think is absolute fire.
Yeah.
It comes in several different dial variations.
Yeah, I think there's 3 dials and then 4 if you count the 1 bronze gold.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
The one we're looking at.
This one,
the
white
silver,
dial,
red and black. Yep.
Yeah, that one is. It's funny because the one that you sent me a picture of the blue dial.
Yeah.
And then I was just kind of like looking around on the site, and I came across this, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's the one I got to have personally. Again, vintage callbacks. That hit of red just reminds me of all the old school pulsometers.
Yeah.
But I think what's cool about this too, right? Like, it kind of speaks to the intention of the Speedmaster.
Yeah.
Which it was a racing watch.
Yep.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so this one kind of, it channels a lot of that, the original intention of it. And so it feels totally different than like the icon that we know as like the moon watch.
Yeah, I feel like the NASA and the moon watch identity kind of took over the Speedmaster.
Mm-hmm.
People don't look at it anymore as a watch for racing. They say that's the moon watch.
Yeah.
This, I feel
it feels like a totally different watch.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. It looks like a totally different watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same, I mean, basically the same case, right?
Yeah.
A little bigger, but basically the same case, and it comes on the same bracelet.
Carries the aesthetic of racing with the racing strap, which is super cool. Definitely like one of my strap options, especially worn on like a chronograph. I'm definitely going with a racing strap.
Yeah, 100%. I don't like this racing strap. I do like.
I'm not mad at it.
I do like the racing strap that's on I think it's the Apollo 8 or the Apollo 13. I think it's the Apollo 13. That's black ceramic with the hits of yellow and the meteorite dial. I like that racing strap. This one has too many holes in it for me. Something about it's throwing me off. But I like the black and yellow on the other one a lot better.
I mean, I like it. It feels the strap feels super like 1960s Monaco.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
And I think for me the dial kind of channels that too. Feels a little more Formula One.
Yeah, I can see that.
It fits. I think an interesting point going back to something we talked about in episode 1. I mean, look at that price point.
$84.50.
I mean, that's for that watch that feels right.
Yep.
Yeah.
How much is it? How much is it on the bracelet? It's a little more.
I think it's a little more, but still, I think you put this.
I think they're both under $9,000.
You put this up against the No Time to Die.
Yeah,
Seamaster 300.
I'll take that all day.
Yes.
I'm taking this.
I'll take this
you're
all
taking
day.
this
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And
100%.
just for aesthetics, value, like it's a better watch.
Yes.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and although it tells a story, it doesn't tell a specific story. Whereas like the No Time to Die definitely does.
Yeah, because that's really tied to the movie for you.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
is. No, definitely.
Yeah.
This one is it's a super conversation piece.
Yeah.
You know, like I've yet to actually seen this in person.
Yeah, I haven't seen that color in person.
I haven't come across it in person.
But I would definitely I would stop someone and rap with them about this. This is an extraordinary piece. I think this thing is beautiful. 43 millimeters. It's a little big for me.
Yeah.
It could work though. It has those short curved lugs.
I definitely try to make it work.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fire piece.
I think on the bracelet it might work better for most people though, because it fills the gap with those end links.
I think though, like if I can kind of bring up the Seamaster again, I think when you look at the Diver 300 for No Time to Die, you look at this, it feels like Omega is back in their bag design wise.
Yeah.
I mean, I think about some of the new Aqua Terras that have come out.
Yep.
Like they're designing beautiful timepieces again that that sort of feel vintagey in different ways, but still totally brand new experience.
Well, they dropped the Seamaster 300 again, and it's basically 1-to-1 to the vintage references.
Yeah.
They did it in steel in 2 colors, right? There's black and blue, and then there's bronze gold.
I think everybody's, going back into the archives.
Yeah.
And really, really, really diving into design, because you have competitors like Grand Seiko, which we mentioned them in episode 1, where like these guys are making beautiful dials and beautiful timepieces, very unique, and something that you're not finding in the market, you know? So like now everybody's like, I got to step my game up. So, you have design, you have demand, you have price point, you have all these things that these brands now have to get right, because you have guys like us that will check you on that.
100%.
I feel like they're stepping their game up and also rediscovering themselves as brands.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's really, a lot of it is just a lot of stuff that they already did and just didn't for a really long time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, I wish they would make this again.
There's a lot of tinkering that's happening in the industry right now.
Yeah.
It feels like. Moving along, but keeping things Omega, I guess there was a picture that one of you guys shared this week. And it's from a couple of weeks ago. PGA Tour winner Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
McIlroy. Damn, man, I'm sorry I butchered your name. But he was but he was sporting the Omega Ville Tourbillon.
Yeah, that one is nuts.
Which is absolutely
that watch is crazy.
Fire.
Tourbillon right at the center.
And I'm not a real tourbillon guy. I am an Omega dude. 38 millimeter. This watch is fire.
That case is amazing.
I mean, it's stupid.
Amazing. It looks like a tank, like a style.
And
honestly,
it's a DeVille.
It looks like Christian Bale's Batmobile from the top down. If you were to take a drone and put it over that Batmobile, that's what that case looks like.
So the one that he's wearing, this is it's a limited edition. They're numbered, right? This is rose gold.
Yeah.
This is one of the more expensive Omega watches I've seen this year. It's $137K.
Yeah.
I never would have fathomed a 6-figure Omega before I started to learn about watches.
Yeah.
At DeVille.
Yeah.
Not the most popular line that they carry.
Yeah.
But this watch is absolutely amazing.
I think that's why you got to do it, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It definitely drives more traffic to
the DeVille line.
DeVille.
Oh, absolutely.
And definitely goes back to, the conversation that we was having about price point. I mean, there are folks that are like, listen, I want a watch that is at least $100K. Like, don't show me a watch that is under 100,000. I've had those conversations. I know Ben has had those conversations where like people literally like, I want a watch that is extremely competitive in the market. And this definitely does it.
But not only does it do that, but it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think it's just executed really, really well.
Done right. Yes. For sure.
I think this also speaks to people who just like love Omega and are pure ballers and have nothing really better to spend their money on. And then look at something like this. And
it's also
just
kind of
I
like
have to have it.
It's like a big FU to Rolex too.
Yeah.
Like if we're being honest.
Yeah. I mean, they're staying true to their tradition of like watchmaking, but at the same time, like they're also breaking their own rules. I mean,
they've never done.
Yeah, the design language is
like
crazy.
Rolex would never.
It's a skeletonized
do anything like this.
No.
I mean, look at the hands.
Yeah, it's different.
They're on discs.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Different, 100%.
I think for a brand to be as old as Omega is, as tenured as they are, I guess maybe we could say, and as classic as they are, it's a risky piece.
Yeah.
But something, I was recently talking to some brand reps from Strom, and Mr. Strom actually designed most of the open work for Omega.
Oh, he did every single one for Omega.
Yes,
really?
he did.
Yeah, in the 90s, up until the year 2000, from 1990, I think exactly 1990 to 1999, he personally designed and put together every single one that they made.
So this definitely kind of brings back to that essence, and it goes back into again, the archives.
Reestablishing their identity, and again, I never knew Omega even made anything like this.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But here they've been doing stuff like this since the 90s.
Yeah,
which is mind blowing.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say something? Sorry.
No.
Okay. All right. Staying with. Actually, I jumped around, but we can get back into it. So we covered the Chronoscope. We covered the Ville Tourbillon. The Chronoscope is a watch you wanted to cover. What do you got your eyes on right now, Rashawn? What were you looking at?
Oh man. A timepiece that I'm really, really interested in, me and Ben were talking about it earlier today, was the SBGA 401.
Yeah, that was going to be my next thing on the radar.
SBGA 401 is a boutique exclusive by Grand Seiko. Beautiful design timepiece. Chocolate dial.
Yeah, it's super dark.
Really dark. Kind of gives off a black, but when it hits in certain angles of light, it's like, oh wow, this is brown. This is taupe. This is like,
here we go.
Yeah,
very different.
It's definitely brown,
and it's a spring drive movement.
Yep,
spring drive movement with the kind of like those rose gold indices. Definitely my favorite Grand Seiko, especially when it was brought to my attention by Ben. It was like, what should be my next Grand Seiko purchase?
That conversation started because you asked me what I would get, and I was like, that one.
Yeah.
Price point's not bad either.
No,
it's $4,900.
Under $5K for a spring drive.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Now the hands, like I was saying before, the hands and the indices are all made out of brass for Grand Seiko. The dials too. So that's rose gold plated.
Yes.
Oh, it's rose gold plated.
Yeah, it's plated rose gold.
Huh.
Yeah.
And again, they do that for longevity. So when you service your spring drive, which you probably should never have to do because there's no friction. Well, there's still friction, but not as much as anything else. When you service that watch, your hands will need to be replaced because there's no bends, there's no micro scratches, no nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's a fire piece. I mean, it feels like brown dials are back.
Yeah.
Like 2021 for sure, big time.
Definitely. Especially, we were just talking about that in episode 1, just like rose gold, bronze, pieces that, you know, that kind of give off different characteristics. This one definitely speaks to that. Definitely speaks to that, 100%.
And it's got an exhibition case back.
Yeah, most of them do. Most spring drives do, if not all.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of cool to see how this movement works.
Yeah, the one thing that I hate is that they put the
logo
stamp on the back for the
Yeah.
boutique exclusive. It just I don't mind the logo being there. It's just that one's too big. It takes up the whole case back.
Yeah, you can't really see anything.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, put that stamp on the rotor.
4,900 though, that's not bad.
Yeah. Very, very competitive.
And what's the case size on this thing?
40 and a half, if I'm not mistaken.
It feels like it wears smaller though.
They all do, because again, short lugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thickness is 12 and a half.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
41 millimeter, 49 lug to lug. It's a dope piece. For me, and I talk about this watch all the time, the Black Bay P01.
Yeah. That's something we have in common. We're like the only people who
I know
like that
everyone
watch.
hates this watch.
No, it's a great watch.
Everybody hates this.
I just hate the
I
strap.
show it to people and they're like, nah, this thing is trash. I'm like, yo, it's the most oddball watch in the Tudor lineup. Yeah. It's one of the most oddball watches you'll ever come across. And that's why it's kind of so dope. This thing is absolutely fire. Now, I hate the strap.
Yeah, I hate it.
If I'm being honest. I think the strap
the original ones, it's called the P01. It was a prototype originally, prototype 1. It came on like a black Tropic strap. If that was a drop on the Tropic strap again, that'd be on my radar. It'd be on the short list.
So there was a guy on Instagram recently that had this watch, and I sent a picture to Rashawn.
Yeah.
He swapped it out for a mesh bracelet. And
that could be interesting.
I mean, it was fire.
Yeah.
This watch, I feel like I'm a big fan of Tudor. I like what they're doing. I wasn't always. There was a time when I absolutely hated them because I just didn't think they did anything interesting since like the 70s. But obviously they caught wind with
Black Bay 58.
with the Black Bay series, and then when they did the 58 with the smaller 39 millimeter case size model, I copped one.
Yeah.
I'm
that
trying to cop
Bay,
another one.
That Scarlet Black Bay was the first watch that I saw that I was like, I want it.
Yeah, the P01 I feel like will be special. It seems like anytime I go into an AD, it's there.
Yeah.
It's available. It's available like nobody's business.
Yeah, always will be. Until
Nobody's exactly, and I feel like the minute that is not,
yeah, everybody's gonna want it.
Everybody's gonna be like,
the right
"Damn,
person
they
has
got
to wear
that."
it or say something about it, and then
For
it's
sure.
over.
I've definitely had conversations about that. And, I think even if it was presented a little bit differently, more as like, a grail piece, a novelty piece, one that you have to kind of like ask for.
Yeah.
If you know, I think that also will kind of drive that curiosity. So, there's ways to definitely glamour this piece. You know
how I think they could fix that. Not that it needs fixing, but if they were to take the route that they did with the Black Bay and do a quote unquote 58 version of that,
of the P01,
slightly smaller P01, that might be the move. People might get more attention and traction on it because it is a chunky watch.
I don't know if it's the chunkiness that bothers people. I think it really it's much simpler than it's a 42 millimeter. It's sure, but I really think it's the strap.
I was gonna say,
really?
I think
people see the strap and it's like a visceral reaction.
But
they're like, no, I don't want it.
All the 58s and the Black Bays on straps use the same thing. The only thing that's different is really that like end link system.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
that end link system with this poorly brown colored leather strap.
Yeah.
And then the clasp.
Yeah, the clasp.
I mean, it's just a bad strap.
That good.
And I just feel like because the end link system makes it look like you can't swap it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what causes people to be so hesitant. maybe I'm oversimplifying it. I don't know.
No, I think you're right. Especially because, I mean, people have swapped.
But that's what it was for me. Because when I first saw it online and I saw this, I was like, yeah. But then when I saw it in person, I was like, oh, this is great. And then when I saw it on the mesh bracelet, I was like, I get it. Better.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
This
I think it is
crazy.
an easy fix. It's definitely an easy fix. Definitely considering maybe putting it on another, strap or, binding option would definitely kind of change the perception of the timepiece for sure.
Yeah. Moving along, kind of going back to culture. Swizz Beatz did a collab with
De Bethune
mm-hmm. for a custom piece. They only made 10. Mm-hmm. It retailed for just over $500,000.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Swizz Beatz finds himself in these spaces that someone like himself typically would not find himself in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's a hip hop producer, legendary hip hop producer. Now he's known as like an avid art collector, and he's venturing off into not only collecting watches now, but collaborating and designing watches.
Yeah.
Personally, not for me.
Yeah.
But I'm a fan of what he just did.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to give Swizz credit, he's very prominent in, the hip hop culture and pop culture. Definitely has put his stamp and, dropped his flag in a lot of different avenues. He is someone that brands do look to be their brand ambassador or to collaborate with. I mean, we've seen it, in fashion. We're seeing it in timepieces. We've seen it in, his arena of music. I think it speaks to, his taste making. I think he's a very tasteful guy.
I think that's an excellent point. And it's very interesting for his career because, a lot of the brand partnerships that you see in music or in hip hop, it's for like either like fast fashion or
fast
food. You know what I'm saying? And like, here's a guy who, like, the fans of this brand of De Bethune, do they know who Swizz Beatz is?
I would say probably not.
Probably not, but they know him now.
Yes.
And major props to De Bethune, and I'm probably butchering the name, but for recognizing that this guy has incredible ideas, and that alone is merit enough to partner with him. I think the case design is interesting. I'm not a fan of the shape. I think it is really cool what they're doing with sapphire crystals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The exhibition case back, I don't really get because there isn't much to see.
Yeah.
So funny you say that because I think the movements in these watches is the best part. If we pull up any other De Bethune and a lot of them flip and you turn them over.
No, I agree.
I would wear it on that side the most.
Their watches,
this watch though,
their watches are beautiful,
so
and you can see oftentimes you can see the movement from the front of the watch. In addition to if they have a case back, and it's like some of the most coolest things you can see. This one in particular, all the action is happening on the dial. It's just like a really new and interesting way of like reading a dial.
Yeah.
But it looks like something out of Star Trek.
I was just going to say super Star Trek, super futuristic.
It looks like the Star Trek logo just turned sideways.
Definitely ahead of his time.
It sold out.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
They sold all 10 for $500,000.
So, but you said it's definitely ahead of its time. Do you really think so?
I think that we're going to see more timepieces mimic what De Bethune is doing.
I'm only saying that because a brand that I really like, Urwerk, has been doing stuff, I would say pretty similarly for longer and also about half the price. Maybe not sapphire cases, but the tech that's in it, probably more complicated than this.
I think this is a gateway for younger guys with large dispensable income.
Bitcoin kids?
Bitcoin kids who are jumping off of the Rolex craze, getting into watches, who are interested in like really crazy complications. I think this is a gateway for them to partner with a guy like Swizz Beatz. Listen, there's a lot of kids out there with a lot of money. I think if anything, we learned that during COVID.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, this watch right now that we're looking at the images on is on Hypebeast.
Yeah. For sure.
Like, that's wild.
It's definitely influential on, you know, the kids and the new watch collectors and the dudes that do aspire.
Yeah.
I think that for this timepiece here, or at least this brand, it is something that's now on people's radar.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're definitely moving away from, you know, the typical timepieces that we all know and love into more independent, more niche, more like coveted and limited runs.
Yeah, even if they can't get into the Bethune or that watch in particular, it's on Hypebeast.
Yeah.
It's on Hypebeast.
They're going to read about watches on Hypebeast.
Yes, for sure.
And it's going to get them into everything else.
For sure. For sure.
It's on Hypebeast.
I agree.
All right, moving along. This one is a interesting. I mean, this is something I'm excited about because I'm a big fan. Rapper Larry June.
Yeah, keeping it hip hop.
Is an avid Rolex collector.
Yeah, he's got plenty.
And
Yeah.
recently posted a picture of a Rolex watch he was wearing. He's got a few. He's got some hitters, but he posted
lots of day dates.
A lot of day dates.
He has a lot of day dates. He posted a malachite dial recently, which I thought was interesting. I'm trying to find it. It was just like a couple of days ago, I think. But I know he has a Daytona.
What's that?
This is a platinum day date. Two-tone bracelet?
No, it's just the polished links are very shiny in that light.
I love that he's not even entertaining the idea of
Sports
busting it down.
Busting it down. Yeah.
Like, no, we're not doing that. No bust downs.
No.
It's all factory.
His philosophy is, you know, clean. Everything is clean. Everything is, you know, fine and refined. You know, he's definitely heavy on the alkaline water and the orange squeeze, the fresh orange squeeze
Making
juice.
San Francisco look really good right now.
Yes. So like,
really putting on for the city.
He's definitely someone that keeps it very, very simple. Even down to, you know, his simple philosophies of investments, whether it's vehicles, whether it's, you know, real estate.
Yeah, all those cars he ain't definitely not depreciating.
No.
Porsches and Ferraris.
But I think the key thing is too is like this dude's got taste, man.
Yeah, he does.
Definitely has taste.
The
Even
taste
his
level.
photos, there's nothing corny here.
No. Like
it's very organic. Exactly. Like that's what his number one slogan. That's definitely a pun. You know what I mean? He keeps it very organic. I love what he's doing. And like this year, he's definitely taken off. You know, he's definitely been on a lot of guys' radar. If you know, you know.
Right.
But, you know, he's being recognized for a lot more than just his lyrical skills.
I'm trying to find that malachite piece that he posted because that piece is an absolute heater.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Larry June. Good job, Larry.
Good respect.
Definitely good job on those watches.
For sure.
And the crazy thing is, like, I noticed because I listened to Larry June. He doesn't rap about his watch collection.
He hints. He hints
at it, but he doesn't even. It's just like if you see him, it's here it is.
He's not screaming "Rolly, rolly, rolly."
No, that's the
Stella.
That's the where was it? It has to be the next one. Here we go.
Yeah.
Boom. Flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gold
matching Goyard.
With the matching Goyard.
Yeah.
Flexing the Amex Platinum.
Yeah.
Malachite dial.
Malachite.
Yes.
And a very tasteful Cuban link bracelet.
Oh, for sure.
Again, no diamonds.
No diamonds.
He's keeping it clean.
I mean, Diamonds are a girl's best friend. I respect them.
And mine. It's chill.
If you could do it, you could do it, sir.
Yes. Yes.
But my man's got taste. Like,
And again, we're all suckers for green.
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
For sure. But then I think when you pair this with some of the other models he has in his collection, it's like, wow, like not only are you an avid Rolex collector, you have some of the more interesting pieces.
Yep.
And it feels like you have pieces that you actually like.
Yeah.
You're not just buying a Rolex just to say you have a Rolex.
Yeah.
Which leaves me incredibly curious. I'm like, is he paying retail? Is he getting aftermarket? What's going on there?
I mean, on this stuff, like the Malachite, the Stella, that's all vintage. So obviously that's market price, but it's a different kind of market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. If it's
The day dates, like that platinum day date he was wearing, that's a little tricky because I'm sure you walk into any decent jeweler, especially ones that are, outfitting celebrities and rappers, they probably have all that on hand.
Yeah.
You walk into an AB, they don't. And it's a little hard for them to get one right now.
Yeah. But I mean, there was a point in time when you could take commitment on it.
Sure.
I mean, I think he's someone that's ahead of the curve and probably, invested in these pieces early.
But do you think someone like him would be okay with that waiting game?
I feel like he might have got into it where he didn't have to.
He probably didn't have to. Probably didn't have to.
He only really started posting Rolexes, I want to say, maybe a little over a year ago. Like it started with one. I can't remember what it was. It was either either a day date or a date just. It was probably a date just. And then I remember there was like, it might have been a Daytona shortly after that, and then it just started rolling.
Yeah.
And then it was like
what kind of
month
Daytona,
after
though?
month.
Yeah.
It might have been platinum, dog. I mean, Larry's getting it. He just opened up that boba spot.
Yeah, which I visited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Boba tea is pretty good. I definitely enjoy.
But that brings, I think, us to the next thing. The whole conversation, and we can kind of end it there. But aftermarket diamonds.
No.
Yeah, we're heavy on the hip hop.
No.
You were talking about
segment.
something earlier on Vlad TV.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, because I actually don't know anything about this.
So I seen like a little bite on Instagram with academics speaking to Vlad TV about the appreciation and the watch craze and just are timepieces good investments? Are they, if they aren't, so on and so forth. And Vlad was breaking it down just as far as like, referring to different brands, Rolex, Richard Mille, and so on and so forth. But it got into aftermarket diamonds and the idea that, if you bust down a watch, then you drive the value down.
Yeah.
Which is totally true 100%.
It's been true for a long time.
Absolutely.
Long time.
I'm definitely not for anything aftermarket. If I'm going to invest in anything with diamonds, it has to be factory set. I don't want my pieces tampered with. And I think the biggest part, kind of like, segueing off the topic a little bit, kind of educating guys that, you don't have to bust down a watch. I don't have to pay 5 times the retail to bust down a watch. You can actually get it factory set.
Absolutely.
And maybe even get it for less.
I think the way I try to explain it to people too is, you're taking this, in some cases, watches that these guys are getting, they're precious metals. You're drilling holes into them.
To set diamonds. To
set diamonds, which is something that depreciates, right?
Yeah.
Like it's one of the most abundant resources in the world.
Yes.
That's value is inflated simply because, let's be honest, it's monopoly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Right? And then you're putting these stones in it. And in many cases, these guys don't even know if the stones are real.
Yes.
Right? But you're literally shaving out pieces of your watch.
Yeah.
To put in something of lesser value, it's going to drive it down incredibly.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, people can also make the argument like, if you get a factory, that's what they're doing anyway. Sure, but it's done very differently.
It's also done in the factory.
Yes, it's intended to be that way.
It's intended to be that way.
That's the key here. It's intended to be
So
that
what
way.
does that say about like, because the custom craze is crazy right now.
Yeah. I mean,
You got a lot-
Bamford was doing it for a while with Rolex, and they stopped.
I mean, they're making
LVMH.
dials. They're busting down. There was that Rolex piece. I forget who owns it, but they recently did a skeletonized version.
Oh, you're talking about Artisans of Genève.
Yeah.
They do like skeletonized subs and Daytonas and all kinds of crazy stuff. I've had people like ask like where they can find specific references of watches to send to those guys to customize.
Wow.
But like serious watch collectors.
Sure.
And that's just because they're bored of everything Rolex
I get
does.
it. I mean, at that point, you want to do something weird, funky. I get it, but it's a fake Rolex.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Frankenstein
Exactly.
watch.
Yeah.
And it's funny that we're on this hip hop segment because of course we know the story of Lil Baby getting got for $400,000.
Oh
Yeah,
boy,
Platinum
dude.
for the Platinum
anniversary
Protect.
notice.
And I love Lil Baby. I'm sorry you had to be the one.
he's the GOAT. I mean, he's definitely
Everyone
the GOAT.
learned their lesson. Though.
And the idea of spending all this money on a watch from like an aftermarket guy is kind of crazy because you could simply take that same money to an original jeweler and actually, acquire some of these
something for its
timepieces.
worth, yeah.
Of course.
But the same, it's crazy though because that happened to Lil Baby, but a couple years ago it happened to John Mayer too. of
Oh,
all
really?
people. Yeah, he sued Bob's of Bob's watches for almost $800K.
Oh man.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Bob.
Yeah.
So it's not just rappers, it's John Mayer, right?
Yeah.
Someone who's been regarded in the watch community as the it guy, especially after his Talking Watches episodes on Hodinkee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And happened to him.
It can happen to anybody.
Exactly.
I think that's,
And he's he's supposed to be the it guy. He knows a lot.
I hope to God it doesn't happen to me. Listen, I think that wraps up episode 2. We did the damn thing. We came back for more.
Yes,
conquered.
We might come back for more.
I think, I feel like there's going to be a 3, 4,
This
5,
should be a
6,
3.
7.
Yeah.
Okay,
Full
LeBron.
season.
Okay, LeBron.
A season 2, 3, 4, 5.
This has been great, man. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Big Wrist Check Podcast. Catch us on Instagram at Wrist Check Pod, WRISTCHECKPOD.
Go in the spelling bee, please.
I'm saying.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.